Let's go. Welcome to On the Attack with Mac, a podcast meant to inspire, motivate, and even educate you to go out there and win in life. I am your host, Cornell Mack, and your boy is geeked up tonight because we're going to be talking about shooting your shot. And then we also have a guest interview with my homie, Alex Constantine with ADC Yard Care. So it's going to be a fun show tonight, but you know how we start each and every show, and that is with the live viewer shout out. So let me put the banner up so we can see who's rocking with us today. If you are watching on Instagram, all you got to do is show up. But if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you do have to comment down below so that I know that you're here, and we'll get the show started off the right way because my man Spence Crisco was first to the party. Before the show even started, he was already in the comment section on YouTube. Let me know that he was here. I cannot see on the Instagrams. I was having trouble. I guess it started a little bit late on Instagram, but we are in the live viewer shout outs. And if you want to be acknowledged on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you comment down below. But over here on Instagram, we got Ty Lamar 21 in the building. K Cons underscore 77 is in the building. Showcase Lawns, that's my man Ken is in the building. Patriot Lawns, my homeboy Rory is in the building. NKMK Landscaping 10 has joined and is a new follower over there on Instagram. What is going on with you tonight? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. Lone Wolf Landscaping is in the building over on Instagram. He's also on YouTube. Shout out, double duty. He must have two phones, or he's watching on a TV and a phone. Shout out to you. We got Wilbur Eifert in the building on YouTube. Spence Crisco, who I already mentioned. Penn Brothers Landscaping. K Cons is now on YouTube and also on Instagram. Double duty. We always enjoy them, and they probably also listen to the podcast. That's triple duty. All right, but we got Patriot Lawns. My sister Kelsey is in the building. That's Rory's wife. Cat's Paw LLC. What's going on with you? It's going to be a fun show tonight. I had a couple conversations with some people over the last few days, and I'm going to tell you a little story about shooting your shot here in a second. But it's going to be a fun show, man. Make sure that you tune in. We're going to have some fun today, and we'll hear a lawn care story from my man Alex Constantine. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Make sure we get all of that under control here in just a few minutes, probably about 12 minutes or so. We're going to get to this motivational minute. I also dropped a YouTube video with the lawn care kids. Shout out to my man Henrik up in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I hope I said that right, but I did a shop tour with him and it's absolutely killing. It's been out for a day. It already got 5,000 views. So if you haven't seen that video yet or you're not subscribed to the channel on YouTube, man, come on over here, Mac Landscaping and Lawn Care. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And this young man is absolutely killing it at the early age of 19. He already owned 27 different vehicles. Boy's a beast. So go watch that video. But anyway, we got Seeds Landscaping and LBC OG in the building. And now we got to get to this week's motivational minute. I was watching Instagram. It's how a lot of this stuff comes to my head. Doom scrolling. All right. And then I see something. It's a lot like I'm not going to compare doom scrolling to church. But like I've said plenty of times, and if you go to church, you understand this. Sometimes when you go to church, well, most of the time for me, and the pastor starts talking, it's like they're talking directly to you. And it's like the algorithm is doing the same thing. It's feeding me what I already want to see. So I'm already into, changing my mind and doing all of those cool things. But I seen a video of this young man who was a DJ, or I'm sorry, a photographer or a videographer, something like that. And there's a rapper named Lil Yachty, and I guess Lil Yachty's people seeing this guy's photography, they put something up. He ends up emailing Lil Yachty, and he didn't think anything was going to come of it. And turns out they seen his stuff. They asked him to come on some tour that this guy was doing. I don't know if I've ever heard a Lil Yachty song, but he's pretty popular with the young people. And everyone needs a camera person if you're going to be doing events and everything like that. So he's looking for that. And this guy who was just about to go to a job interview got an email. And when he seen the email, he's like, "Oh, this is my chance. Like I got to shoot my shot." So something recently Happened to me a few weeks ago. Well, it's actually a few months ago. I got a call from my homie Naylor Taliaferro, the lawn care rookie, and he does the morning show down at Equip Expo. So he hits me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm down to a few people left, but I want to know, do are you interested in being a guest on the morning show?" And I ain't gonna lie to you. I had told my wife in 2021 one day I'm gonna be sitting up on that stage. I ain't gonna lie, I never imagined it would actually happen. All right. I didn't know that I would do any of the things. And I'm telling you this story for a point. I'll get to it here in a second. I didn't know that very soon in the future, only a few years later, I would actually get the opportunity to get up on that stage and be interviewed. And so when Naylor asked me to do it, I was like, I'm not sure. Like, I've never stood on stage in front of 800, 5, 600, 700, 800 people before. I said, I'm gonna be nervous about that. But I remember when I was in high school, I almost didn't graduate high school because of a speech class. And it's because I couldn't read very well. I was afraid to talk in front of people. And so I skipped that class, almost didn't graduate. Luckily, I had a cool principal, and the principal fixed it up, put me in journalism or whatever. But I was afraid then to be up on a stage in front of 25 of my peers whenever I was a senior in high school. And now, fast forward all these years, and this guy Naylor is like, "Yo, do you want to come sit up on the stage and be interviewed in front of maybe 1,000 people?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. What if I say the wrong thing? What if he's really trying to pass me the ball, right? When people pass you the ball, you probably should shoot that thing. I'll tell you a story one time. I know I always talk about basketball, and I can't really prove anything that I'm actually saying unless my boy was to come on the show one time and actually tell you about any of my exploits whenever I was a young basketball player thinking I could do everything. But I do remember this one particular day, and it is like a core memory for both him and I. When we were growing up, we were young, we were out there at this park called Renzi Park playing basketball. And I was one of the people who was like a scorer on the court. So my friend, he knows this. So he would just come and do his job, right? So I would tell him, "Hey, on this one particular game, we are going for the win. We only got to score a two-pointer for the win, or we're going to have to score two in a row." Because we play win by two. So I tell him, "There's a guy in front of me. He can't guard me. I'm going to blow past this dude. And if your guy, if he leaves you, I'm gonna kick you the ball for a wide open three to win the game. If he doesn't leave you, I'm just gonna go make a layup." So he's like, "All right, cool." So I bring the ball up the court. I hit the guy with a hesitation move. I blow past him. The guy comes off of him into the lane to try and stop me from making a layup. I see him. I kick the ball out. He catches the ball. He's ready. He lets the ball go. He shoots it. Boom, it goes in. The reason I tell this story is because I was afraid to go up on that stage, but I did it. And when I did it, and I talked to people about myself and the things that I believe in and the philosophies that I have, it resonated with some people who were down in the crowd. And they came up to me afterwards and they told me that my story resonated with them because, man, hey, they don't necessarily want to have $1 million business. All right. Now, that's a story that helped some people, but I was afraid to get up on that stage, just like my friend was probably afraid to shoot that shot in a recreational basketball game, but he shot it and it went in. I went up on that stage because Naylor passed me the ball, and I ain't ever been afraid to shoot. You can ask anybody who I grew up with. I will shoot the ball if I get it. Believe me, it's going up. So when he passed me the ball, I shot it. And to my surprise, it went in. So the reason I tell you this story is because sometimes there's some stuff you know, you got the ball in your hand right now. And all you really got to do is shoot it. Because if not, you live in the what ifs. What if I actually shot it? Would I have made it? You'll never know unless you shoot the ball. So when someone gives you an opportunity and they pass that ball to you, do everything in your power, man, to give yourself a shot by shooting your shot. What's the worst that could happen? You miss, you try again. But if you shoot it, the person will at least have the confidence that you're going to shoot it. If you don't shoot it, eventually they just stop passing you the ball and they don't ask anymore. And you never will know if I could have made the shot because you didn't shoot it. So go out there and shoot your shot. That's this week's motivational minute. Let me hit this next banner because we have a winner of the week, and I think this might be 2 weeks in a row. We got my homeboy David. I'm sorry, winner of the week. It's a live show. I almost messed up right there. But there is a young lady. Her name is Megan, and we all have trimmers and blowers. If you do what I do lawn maintenance, regular lawn maintenance. We all have trimmers, we have blowers. Some of us have enclosed trailers. I have an enclosed trailer. Some of us have utility trailers. I also have a utility trailer. Some of us have a ramp rack. I want to get a ramp rack. And you might have your equipment on the sides. And one of the things that happens when you have a utility trailer or a ramp rack and your stuff is kept outdoors is it is susceptible to the elements, whether it is fading because the sun is beating the hell out of it every single day, or rain or water or debris, whatever the case may be. After so many hours out in that sun and in that weather, your equipment is going to be beat up. Well, this lady Megan, she invented dry wraps. This is not sponsored. I just been seeing her stuff on the internet, and she is a single mother who invented something that is dope for us to help to keep our equipment safe and lasting longer. And she uses 100% American made stuff. And I'm not sure, but she might be making every one of these things to order on her own. She goes live every night, every now and then she's live on Instagram and she's like answering questions, playing some music, and actually making these things in her spare time. So I wanted to go out and honor Megan with creating something that is so dope for us guys who are and gals who are out here uh, in the elements every single day. Maybe she needs to make something to cover us up so we ain't getting farmers tans and all of that. But for the time being, she has some really cool things for your equipment on your trailers to keep them safe and looking their best for as long. It'd be better to beat up a dry wrap than to beat up your equipment. So if you want to see her page, it is at dry wraps on Instagram. Go holla at Megan and hey, let's help her out. Let's go buy some dry wraps and support an all American made family owned business from a young lady who has created something to help all of us out in our stuff. So shout out to you, Megan, owner of Dry Wraps Equipment Covers. Go follow her at Dry Wraps on Instagram. Now, we got to get to this week's word of the week, and then we will bring in my man Alex so we can hear some of his cool story. I'm excited because he is a service business owner, but he also is a man of service. And we'll tell you all about that here in just a second. But each week, my man Marcus Tate sends me and many others a word of the week to help us get through the day. And I like to bring it here to you to help you get through your day and your week whenever you may be hearing this now or in the future. And if you are here watching now and you are live, I appreciate you for being here. We do the show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is co-streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And the people who are watching it live give me the energy to actually be able to do this. If you've listened to my podcast, you'll see that most of them are done live off the top of the dome, talking to the people who are watching but also talking to you. So if you get some value from here, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on any of the video platforms. But if you're listening on Apple, do me a favor and leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way to helping people know what they're going to get when they tune in to On the Attack with Mac. And I hope it's inspiring, motivating, and even sometimes educating. But Marcus Tate sends us a word of the week, and it always starts with rise and shine. This week's word of the week is if. I said that a little bit earlier in a motivational minute. The word if is defined as in the event that or on condition. If is a powerful word that we don't really think about. If is a word loaded with potential. What comes after if has the possibility of happening. These conditions all depend on you. So let's do what we can to make true statements and turn our ifs into reality. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. That is from John 13:17 in the New King James Version of the Bible. Have a great week. Marcus Tate, the word if. You know, when I think of the word if, I think of what if? What if this happened? And we just talked about shooting your shot earlier, but the what ifs of life. What if I had this thing? What if I went to this school? What if I had both my parents? What if my dad didn't go to jail? What if? What if? What if? We all have what ifs. What ifs for me, a lot of them led to regrets. And so instead of saying, what if it doesn't work, let's say, what if it does? Because if it does work, man, you become legendary, not just in your own mind, but to the world, big or small scale. The people who worry about if it's gonna work are the people who are remembered. Those are the people that I remember. We don't remember the people who failed. They go and fall by the wayside because they wondered if it didn't work, and so they don't do it. Be like the people who wonder, what if it does work? And then, like I said in the motivational minute, shoot your shot. Because if it goes in, you're going to become legendary. That was a powerful, powerful word of the week. I didn't even get a chance to put the banner up, which is totally okay with me. Tonight, like I said, we have a special guest coming on the show that I got to meet down at Equip Expo. Him and his wife. Got to meet them at the opening reception down at Equip Expo, and it was dope. Later on, I had some DMs with Alex, and he told me some of his story. But tonight, we're going to get to hear the rest. And one of the cool things about Alex tonight is he has a professional setup, which means the audio quality is going to be great for you. So, without further ado, let me bring on my man Alex. We're going to take away the comment section off the screen so they're not on you, Alex. We'll bring those back up a little bit later. But tonight we have my man Alex Considine. Am I saying that right?
Considine.
Considine. All right,
That's
I
how most people
apologize.
say it though when we first meet. So
Well, I'm super happy that to have you on the show. I had a busy day today. We are doing leaf cleanups. And so I meant to reach out but I got busy and I forgot. I didn't reach out to Alex to come on the show till 7. So let me give him a round of applause for being coming on the show in short notice. But Alex, I got to meet you down in at Equip Expo, which was cool, right in front of the bar. I remember talking to
yeah.
you and your wife. You said you were interested in coming on the show. I'm like, whenever you want to, you are available, and you are here now. So, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, um, obviously, I said your name, but your name of your business, how long you've been in business, and what do you specialize in?
Yeah. So hi everybody. My name's Alex Considine. I'm the owner and one of the operators of ADC Yardworks. We're based out of New Gloucester, Maine. We do property maintenance like weekly lawn mowing, spring and fall cleanup, mulch, and that type of stuff for the surrounding communities. We're just finishing up our third year now, and like Max said, this is just a side hustle for me. My actual full-time job, I just achieved 10 years full-time in the fire department.
Wow.
So that's what I do on my normal days of the week. We work 2 shifts a week, and then I do this on the side.
Well, thank you for your service. Number one, anytime I went out for the fire department here in Pittsburgh, but I didn't get chosen. Obviously, I'm not a firefighter. So anytime someone is a service member, whether it's military, police, fire, EMS, man, I always just want to say thank you. We give you another round of applause. Thank you for your service. The country wouldn't be as good as it is without you guys. So thanks for coming on. But what got you into lawn care? This is your third year. Why did you get into lawn care in the first place?
So I think most guys can relate to me when you come home with a purchase that you got to explain to your wife where the money came from or what you're doing with it. I have always done this, like growing up through high school, worked with a couple friends doing like firewood business and farming type of stuff. So moved here to Maine to go to school, and wanted to kind of do my own thing on the side because, like I said, we only work 2 days a week at the fire station, so you have a pretty good amount of time off. And if you don't have a ton of hobbies or whatever, you got to find something to do. So I ended up buying one of the steel combi systems with all the attachments. Like everybody says, you drop like $2,500 on a weed whacker, and how are you going to explain that one to the wife? So I'm like, oh, I got it under control. I'm going to go make money with this. So now we're
Oh,
over 3 years into this and going strong.
that's fire, bruh. That's literally fire to a firefighter. I love that. So what was it like when you brought that weed trimmer home and had to explain that to your wife? Did you know at that particular point you were gonna do a lawn care business, or was it like? Because for me personally, I bought my first lawnmower was just a purchase for my house because I was like, "There's no way I'm paying some person to come cut my grass. There ain't no way." That's how I felt in my naivete back then. But for you, what was it like to explain that? And like I said, did you already have in mind you were gonna do a business, or did it just kind of materialize as you were going?
Yeah, kind of. We live in like a private neighborhood with like 5 or 6 acres behind our house. So I'm always working on small projects at home, and it's stuff that we already need equipment. We have to maintain our own street, and the town doesn't take care of any of that. So for me, a lot of this stuff I would have been spending my own money on it anyway. So it was like, well, I have this equipment now and it's just sitting there half the year. We're not using it. What if I go out and work a couple days a week doing my own side jobs?
Mm.
And then it just developed from there.
So is it just you? How many do you have a crew or multiple crews? How are you rocking out?
Normally, I run myself with one other person when we're doing lawn mowing, and then for fall cleanups and larger like shrub trimming jobs and stuff, I'll bring on a third guy.
So one of the things I've seen from not just firefighters but police officers as well who are in the business is they have some of their colleagues from the fire department or police station or whatever they do
Oh
come
yeah,
out and help them. Do you
yeah,
find it a little easier to have people who are reliable because of your fire buddies?
100%. They're hardworking, reliable people. Every person that I have working for me, either I've worked with them as a coworker, they're a relative, somebody in the fire service, police, or military, like you've said, or they're interested in it. So I want to be a mentor to them and show them kind of like what it's all about.
Mm,
So they come to work for me, and then I can get them kind of in the door and show them what the fire department and everything all is all about.
mm.
And just life skills of operating equipment and stuff. There's so much you can do.
No doubt. So whenever you first started out, you said you was doing this stuff when you were a kid and everything. Did you already like have a process, know how to the proper, I guess, procedure, like how you're gonna cut the yard, which way to the string trimmer trims and which side the mower shoot is on, all the things that come with becoming more efficient as you go. Because I know you're in year 3 now. You've probably got some efficiencies, but what was at the
Yeah.
beginning? Like what was the thing that was the biggest struggle for you when you first started?
And just getting out there and learn everything you can. I've just watching so many videos, people like you and Keith and Brian. There's just so much content online now. Like you're not going into this walking into the dark. Sit down, do your research, and build a foundation to work off of. And you're gonna make mistakes along the way. You learn from that. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. It's okay to fail at something. You fail on one project and you learn how to do it the right way for the next two and be more profitable and get it done faster.
So whenever what is your do you have more fun doing the maintenance side of things? And you said you do some landscaping. Do you do some landscaping projects as well?
Yeah, we do mulch and plant installs and that type of thing.
Okay, so we're doing more softscaping. When I think
Softscape, yeah.
landscaping,
I
I'm
don't do
thinking
any
like,
patios or
yeah,
hardscape
yeah, yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So which is more fun for you to do? Is it the daily mowing on the grass cut and go kart, or is it the landscaping side or softscaping side of things?
I actually really like this past year. We were blessed with a large contract from the local town, and I really like doing the commercial properties. So, like the town parks and buildings and whatnot. or like the community center, town hall, library, that type of thing. I found a lot of enjoyment in doing those properties because it's what everybody sees. So
Yeah.
you can make a big impact and catch everybody's eye when they're driving down the main road and say, "Wow, that looks great."
And not only that, one of the reasons I prefer more commercial over residential, I love my residential clients, don't get me wrong, but commercial is like there's almost never someone that's just like looking out the window. You missed this spot, or where it's always seems to be like pressure, and I'm fine with pressure, believe me.
Yeah,
But it's when you come up to Miss Gertrude's house and she's up in the window. Hey Mac, hey, there's this, and she wants to come out. Like that stuff
right,
can be frustrating, but that does not happen on commercial properties.
right.
Rarely ever, unless you spray grass on someone's car or something like that. Uh,
Especially with the large accounts. I mean, one of my accounts is like 20 some odd properties. So that's only one boss. Where
right.
if you had 20 residential lawns, that's 20 different people that want it done 20 different ways. So yeah, I hear you.
No doubt. So now that you're in it for 3 years, you said what 2 days do you work, and how do you
Our
balance
schedule
the two?
rotates, so it's never the same 2 days every week. So if I work like Monday and Wednesday this week, it would be Tuesday, Thursday the following week. So it's always rotating. That is so I try not to work on weekends unless something goes wrong as far as weather or like I'm severely overbooked with
Mm.
jobs. So I try to keep it and work around that schedule to 3 days a week.
So how is it operating your schedule when you don't know? I'm sure you know a week in advance or whatever, like what your schedule is going to be, or how you can explain to us how that works,
Yeah.
how you know what your schedule is going to be. But how do you explain that to a customer? Because for me, customers, once you establish a routine, they get used to it. So how do you establish a routine with those customers when you know you're going to be switching some days up now and then?
Yeah. So usually during the bulk of the mowing season, we try to aim for like Thursday and Friday to cut the grass. That way the homeowners can enjoy the weekend with a nice fresh cut lawn. They're going to be there to actually see it and use it. So I think most people say like we'll cut the grass every like let's say 7 to 8 days or 9 days or something like that. So you got to give yourself a little bit of variation in case something happens or the weather is bad. But as long as you're showing up consistently week after week, I think most people understand. And once they get to know you, most people want to have you knowing that you're a public servant.
I was
So
I was gonna ask, has that helped you? Like, do you ADC? What does that's your initials? Is that your initials?
it is, yeah.
All right. So
And
has
Yardworks is kind of like we're all inclusive. Like when you go to your favorite restaurant, you want the works on your sandwich. You want a little bit of everything. So we try to offer that. Try to come
nice,
in and kind of spruce up your property and make it look nice. Some new curbside appeal.
no doubt. How many properties are you currently maintaining?
About 35. And there's a little bit of variation with some that are done like every 2 weeks or so. And
Nice.
some it just depends on like at the beginning of the year, I'll cut them every week, and then at some point transition to every 2 weeks, just because they slow down so much.
Yep. Yep. Makes total sense. So how do you keep track of everything? One of the things when I first started out, it was 9 years ago. There wasn't all these people on social media. There was only a few. There wasn't all of this technology yet. There was only a few, and I was writing everything down, and at the real beginning, keeping track of everything in my head, which is absolutely nuts to do once you get up past 10, 12 clients. It just becomes hard. So how do you keep everything on track? Are you using pen and paper? Are you using a CRM? What's your process with that?
I try to do as much on my phone as I can between Google Calendar to like record all the jobs, write down what time it's taking, what day of the week we're supposed to be doing what, and then I use QuickBooks for all the invoicing and all that type of stuff, and just
Nice.
keep everybody's name and email obviously on file and just send reoccurring invoices.
Nice. So how are you doing payments? One of the things whenever I talk to people, especially now, I've been doing this for long enough, is I personally switched over to for residential stuff, a prepayment system, meaning everyone's going to pay at the beginning of each week. Some
Right.
people I know do prepayment at the beginning of the month, but the majority of us are doing post service payments, whether it's the day of or at the end of the month. Um, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do it. How I do it is
Yeah.
my way. What is your way of doing it?
So before I was doing send the bill at the end of the month type of thing, like my first year or two. This year, I actually implemented where I send the invoice in full at the beginning of the year. And then actually, a lot of people paid in full right up front
Nice.
because I think it's a convenience thing. People don't, they forget about the emails. It's on both ends. It's a back and forth telephone game of me sending reminders that they missed their bill. So as a part of that, I'm like, I'll send you the invoice at the beginning of the year. If you want to pay it in full, I'll give you the first service free. So that's kind of an incentive for them if they want to pay up front. It helps us out with cash flow at the beginning of the season, which is always extremely difficult for everybody when you
Yes.
have so many things to buy and materials. And then it also allows us to get on their property, and then they get a little bit of investment from us by going there and doing the first service.
What was the thing that made you go from end of the month to I'm just going to offer this right now at the beginning of the season? I really, really like that. If you're brand new doing this, you might not think that you can do these things that Alex is talking about or the things that I say on here. But trust me, I'm literally doing this. Alex is telling you how he's doing this. And I'm not saying you have to do what I do or you have to do what Alex do, but listen to as many people and then decide what's best for you. What helped you decide, hey, I'm done with this end of the month stuff. I'm gonna send this thing at the beginning of the year. And then what did it feel like when people actually were like, oh yeah, we just pay at the beginning of the season? Because that's really cool.
Yeah, that worked out awesome this year. Especially, it works really good for your recurring clients. Once you build a relationship with people and they know what to expect from you, they'll pay up front, no problem. Some of the like new clients that I take on, I work with them doing the monthly payments until they understand and see what they're getting as a value from us, and then
Mhm.
they start to pay payments like chunks at a time, and then the following year people just pay the whole thing right off the rip, which is
That's
great because it helps with payroll, helps with equipment costs, new purchases. If you got to get a new lawnmower or whatever and want to take on more accounts, you got to have cash flow for that. And it
well,
does not take long to burn up all your money.
it sure doesn't. Were you struggling to get those payments at the beginning when you first started out at the end of the month?
I always felt like I was kind of behind the ball because sending the invoice out at the end of the month, if you're giving them 30 days, in theory, now you're 2 months in before you're
Yes.
going to see that cash.
Yep.
So if I had a big bill coming up for whatever, if I didn't have that money, it was pretty easy to get behind. So I learned that right away that you always want to stay on top of that.
Absolutely. So Southern Outdoors over on Instagram, Southern Outdoor Services, he says a lot of customers can't afford to pay all up front, at least in our area. So the thing is with that is you're right. Everyone isn't the same, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's not going to be able to pay it at the beginning of the year for the whole 32 weeks or 28 weeks or 52 weeks, depending on where you're at in the country. But you can give multiple options. So Alex is saying here, you can do this all at the beginning, and some people are choosing to do that, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to do that,
Right.
right?
And I
So
don't require that either.
right,
The benefit of you paying up front is I come and do your first service for free.
correct.
So you're
But
saving whatever amount of money.
yeah, and that's fair. So you save, let's just say $100 off of your
Right.
total year service. But if that doesn't work for you, okay, fine. You can still get paid at the beginning of each week, or you can work with your customer because this is a relationship business. So if you get in and you know a customer that had been paying you cash, and now you're like, hey, I'm going card on file, which is what I recommend to everyone. And now I'm going to card on file. You've already been cutting that person's yard. You're going to make their life easier by going card on file, and you have a relationship already. Now, when you don't have a relationship yet, then you need to have like a lot of Google reviews or some social proof because that'll be that's how you'll begin to build a relationship based off trust and everything. Because when people know, like, and trust you, then like Alex is getting, you can get paid at the beginning of the season. Imagine how much
For
better
sure.
your season's gonna be if you actually have money and you ain't struggling to get gas and pay your insurance and all that. I love that that's a fair idea, Alex.
Yeah. It's
No
worked
doubt.
out well. And like you said, once people learn how we operate, it's a two-way street. If somebody, like you said, needs to pay it at the end of the month, it's not a big deal to me. I'll work with them, whatever sort of payment plan they want to do. There's people that pay up front, and that allows us to help other people that might not be able to pay right away.
No
So,
doubt. No doubt. So what equipment what did you start out with when you first got going? What equipment did you start out with? Was it zero turns? Was it push mowers? I started with push mower, handheld blower, and a curve shaft trimmer. So what did you start with, and now what are in 3 years in, what are you using now?
yeah, so right off the rip, I had that steel combi system I bought because I knew I needed a bunch of attachments like the weed whacker, leaf blower, hedge trimmer deal, just because I didn't want to buy and I didn't have the space at the time for all this equipment. I started with a push mower and like one of those tailgate receiver like baskets there you put on the back of your like minivan type of thing. Just put my equipment in there and drove around cutting grass with the push mower. Then we ended up buying like a Craftsman ride-on tractor, and I used that for like about 2 years, and then upgraded to this Ferris that you can see behind me,
Oh,
the
that's
Z1
fire.
stand-on. I love that thing. And then I also picked up a walk behind John Deere, like a big commercial grade one.
Nice.
So
That's fire. So I want to ask, I'll never forget my first two jobs. I always tell the story. I had a broken foot, dog poop, all this and that. If you're new here, you'll have to go back and listen, or go follow the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see the video where I talk about that. What was it like when you decided, hey, number one, I'm gonna turn this combi system into a business, and then number two, when you got your actual first real client, and when I say first real client, I mean a person you didn't know, because
yeah,
my first job changed my life, but it was my first time getting a customer that I didn't already know, and then they paid, and then they valued me. That was really like, oh, that was the addicting thing that made me want to continue to do this. So, what was it like for you when you got your first paying client for your business?
yeah. So the first one I got was off of just Facebook like community page in the area. I just went on there, you type in landscaping near me, whatever, lawn mowing in your town. And a lot of these people will just put, hey, need a recommendation for whatever project. And so I'd go on there and just put my name or message the person directly and say, hey, can I come give you an estimate? So I ended up going to look at this job. I laugh about it now because, like we always say, we always charge so low at first.
Mm,
But I always wanted that paddle broom for the steel combi system, so I ended up getting that, and then went to do like a stone removal job from after plowing season, and then ended up getting their lawn for $35, like every 2 weeks, I think it was. And this yard was so steep that I couldn't even use the lawnmower behind me because I would go flying down the hill into the ditch. So, and I mean, you're talking, it probably took an hour and a half with like a 21-inch push mower up and down the hill, back and forth. I don't have that account anymore today, but lessons learned along the way.
no doubt. Hey, look, there's so lessons learned along the way. I want to get to that here in a second. But when you first start out, like, you just don't know what you don't know. And you don't know when you first start out that you could just say no.
Yeah.
And you also don't have the experience to know why you might want to say no to this. Now, there's some things that it's just obvious, right? You got something that's 20 feet tall and it hasn't been cut in 4 years, and you got a push mower with a 140cc engine. You probably shouldn't do that. But those sloped hills and things, you don't think about that at the beginning. You just want to get that money. You want to feel like you're actually doing something. So I
Right.
always like to hear what that first feeling was. But I like how you said we don't do that anymore. Like, we don't do that type of thing anymore. So what kind of customers are you looking for now in year three that maybe you were taking on some stuff that you wouldn't take on in year one and two, but year three you changed some things up? What is your current customer that you're looking for now?
Yeah. So at first, like you said, I think most people can relate. You're just, once you get that one job, you want to say yes to everybody that calls on the phone. But eventually, once you kind of figure out your lane and what you like to do, you stay focused on one thing. try not to say we're a jack of all trades, because I think you should specialize in like one or two things and be really efficient and profitable at those. So I'm trying to keep my mowing route really close together. I'm starting to like weed out the people that are farther away and only take on new clients of ones that are right next to a house that I already have.
Mm, that's fair. So for being pretty much solo with a helper, do you have relationships, friends that are in the industry in your area that you guys pass work on to? Because one of the things that helps me out the most is I'm at the compound and I got my boy Piper and his guy that helps him. My other boy, the 24-year-old Savage or Rockstar Talon, who has like I don't know 10 trucks now. That dude's doing crazy stuff. And then we
Yeah.
got Tommy, and so they all got dump trailers. I don't. So anytime I need, or Piper does trees, I don't. So anytime I have something that doesn't work or I can't complete, but I still want to do the job, I hit those guys up and we make sure it happens. For you being a person who's solo or with one person, do you have relationships like that? And if so, how did you go about creating them?
Yeah, I think for me, because I'm so busy with my regular work schedule, like you were saying, picking and choosing for me is really important. Like I have to prioritize what I'm spending my time doing and not doing all these weird one-off jobs. Like if somebody were at a project and they say, "Hey, can you bush hog this field for me, or can you blow out my gutters?" This and that. I'm like, "Sorry, I can't, but here's somebody else's name."
Nice.
Because I'm trying to stay focused. To You show up to a project and you think you're doing one thing like a leaf cleanup, but then the person comes out and they're like, "Oh, I want you to pressure wash my house. I want you to clean the garage. I want you to paint the siding." At some point, yeah, you got to say, "Sorry, that's not in our scope of work."
Right. No doubt.
But yeah, building relationships with some of the other people in your area, like the dealers, wave and talk to all the guys at the gas station. I'm constantly beeping the horn, waving at guys driving by every time I see a trailer. I think that's important to be energetic and be happy and be nice to people. There's
How
nothing more irritating than pulling up next to the guy at the gas pump and they're just a grouch and don't want to talk to you. It's like
oh,
we're all here doing the same thing and trying to make it better.
right.
We don't. That's the reason that people think you can cut a lawn for $20. We need to get out of that mindset.
I agree. I agree. So, how has being a firefighter for a decade and being someone who is always of service, I'm sure you always feel the need to be helping someone. How has that being a firefighter and being in that community? Because I know how tight you guys are. You're risking your life to save other people's lives, and there's a camaraderie and a brotherhood or sisterhood as well when it comes to that. How's that being a firefighter and being on a team of men and women helped you in your business?
Yeah, just being able to rely on other people is so important. Like, especially if we work a long shift and don't get much sleep. Unfortunately, I can't always say no to and skip work the next day. There's lawns that have to be cut. So either I'm doing it, or if I don't feel like I can do it, call up one of my workers or buddies and say, "Hey, can you come give me a hand and I'll come help you next week on another project?" And
Yeah,
whatever, just fair trade for labor or time, whatever.
that's fair, bro. That's fair. So I got to meet your wife. My wife goes with me everywhere, and um, I got to see your wife looking at her husband and how like I could just see the love that you guys have and the love that she has for you. How has your wife being in your corner helped you in your life, number one, but also in creating your business?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest team, or the most important team member is your spouse. If you don't have their support and they're not standing behind you in every decision you make, it's going to be a huge struggle for you. So I can always turn to her if I need advice. She's always pushing me to do more and more, and we're there to support each other. Like she handles a lot of the background stuff. If I'm out in the field, I don't have time to be dealing with invoicing or answering the phone or solving an insurance problem or whatever. And I can just send her a message and say, "Hey, can you look into this?" when I don't have time to deal with it or I don't want to deal with it.
That's fire, bro.
So
That's fire. How
yeah,
was it? I'm sure it's cool. Was this your first year going to Equip Expo?
yeah. And we've actually never flown together down there,
For
or
real?
we have never flown together prior to that trip. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
And
cool.
I've never been there. I was blown away at the expo, and we're hooked now. We're going back every year.
That's
I
what
couldn't believe what was down there.
that's
It
what
was
I try to
funny because
say.
I've been coming back here watching all the videos and stuff. I'm like, did you see that booth? Did you see that piece of equipment? I'm like, no. I feel like I've missed 3/4 of this stuff because I was so tunnel visioned into like wanting to see 3 different things and obviously test drive the equipment.
Yeah.
I didn't even see half the stuff that was there and talking to everybody.
No doubt, bro. Whenever I walked in the first time, it might be different for people now. When I went in 2021, like I said, even just 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't as big as it is now. They were talking about breaking records then, and it was like 22,000. Now they had 30,000 attendees down there this year. But when I walked in, it made me see like how big our industry actually is and how many wonderful people there are and companies and everything. So when when you got down there, what was your favorite thing? Like maybe equipment, but what was any events or your favorite events that you was at while you were there on your first year?
I was just blown away at like the networking and how nice the people were. Like I still am talking to a bunch of people almost on the daily that I met down there just about like what equipment they're using, tips and tricks. Hey, can you help me on this? What's this idea? And it's just amazing the amount of friends and stuff you'll make down there. And these are
I swear.
people obviously you've never met before and they live halfway across the country.
No doubt. It's all about community. And I've been thinking this and feeling this for a while, but like when you it's very lonely once you actually start doing something. Eventually, at the beginning, you want to tell all your friends and all your family, and then they don't really want to hear it because maybe they're not doing it. And I've said this, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it gets really lonely whenever you are the first person or the only person embarking on a new mission that no one has ever done before and that they just
Right.
can't relate to. And when I got down there, it was like ag- again, maybe we're weird because we enjoy lawn care. You know, maybe the people that wear the
Yeah.
furry costumes and go to the conventions all over, maybe they're weird to you, but they're not weird to them. That's their community. And our community is at Equip Expo. And when you get down there, you're not weird to want to talk about lawnmowers or ditch diggers or augers or crane lifts. You're not crazy for wanting to talk about blade tip speed with Garrett Bauer of the Magnamatic. You're not crazy for wanting to ride that new Toro. You're actually cool because of it. So when you got down there and you and your wife did, and you made friends, like you said that was your favorite thing. What was something that you took home that you learned while you were there that maybe you weren't expecting?
I just seeing a lot of the equipment and ways to make our business more efficient. I think in a lot of the new technology that was out there. I mean,
Mhm.
we do use some battery equipment now, and I like it. It has its place, but some of the other stuff they're coming out with is crazy. All the robotic motors and stuff, and the new backpack blowers, this and that. How quiet a lot of that stuff is. It's really cool.
Yeah. So, well, we do got to get ready to land the plane here, but what is your thoughts on? I'm one of the people who's a big advocate for you got to do what you feel is right for you. I personally have no desire to have a $1 million landscaping company with 10, 12, 13, 20, 50 employees. That's not something that I want to do. But that doesn't mean that what I want to do is the right way to do it. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Do you want to grow your business or to $1 million company, $10 million company? Do you want to get to 400,000 or 500,000 and 2 employees? What are your goals for your future in your company?
I think I still want to stay small and efficient, but I would like to get to the point where I could just have a crew of maybe 2 other people where I could be in the background if I'm not available because of my work schedule and something goes wrong, that we're not having to push stuff back.
I like that.
This year, I this Yeah, this year I just bought a Ram 2500. So
Ooh,
now I have 2 vehicles, so that's helpful. So if
nice.
there's an instance where I needed to send like a crew off on their own, and that training my guys to be able to work on their own is another big part, I think, of what I'm going to work on next year.
Yeah,
So have like a crew leader, so whoever the senior guy is, they can be the one in charge driving the truck, and then they're responsible for the route for the day.
yeah,
And just having the ability to send them off to do work, and I can go do what I like to do or go get some more jobs, make some
yeah.
sales.
I love it.
That would be handy.
So we're basically doing the same thing, live
Yeah.
on that same path. So I'll get you out of here on this. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to say first, and then I'll ask my last question. Is there anything? Feel free. You can say whatever you want.
I just appreciate all you do. I don't think you guys even see the surface of how much of an impact you're having on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. There's so much info out there to learn. You guys should be studying and learning every day.
Yeah, I agree,
Just
bro.
thank you for putting all this stuff out there. It's great.
Not a problem. It was given to me. So it's only right that is given to whoever is out there who wants to catch whatever the message is. But here's one message we want to give. What is some good advice you would give, Alex, to someone who is brand new in this business?
Just get out there and try it. Uh, if you never try it, you never know what you could have been. And every opportunity begins with the courage to take the first step, because it's only a guaranteed failure if you never take that chance.
Oh, I like that. It's only a guaranteed failure if you never take that chance. That might have to be a quote from Alice Considine, right?
Yeah,
Did I
there you
say it
go.
right?
Yeah.
My man. So where can everyone find you if they want to follow or become a part of your community, Alex?
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook, ADC Yardworks LLC, and you can also find us on Instagram.
Nice. Well, so appreciate you. I'm so happy that I got to meet you down at Equip Expo and then now get to be your friend and do the show with you. Tell the wife I said hi and thank you for allowing us on the Attack with Mac podcast, the people who are watching now, have a 45 minutes to an hour of your time so that we can inspire, motivate, and hopefully we even educated someone out there to go out there and win in life. So I appreciate you. Make sure you go follow my man Alex at ADC Yardworks LLC on Instagram and Facebook. I appreciate you being on the show, Alex, and we will see you next time, bro.
Thanks, man. Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Peace. Man, that was fire. Alex did a hell of a job. This show is geared towards people who are new in business because when you are new, it's about to get lonely and you got to have a community, and we are the Winning Life family here on the Attack with Mac. Also, we have the Winning Life University free Facebook group. You can come and join that. There are links to everything on my link tree at Mac underscore landscaping 412, and there's also links down in the show description on the YouTube and also in the podcast show notes. So if you want to get involved with the Winning Life University community, come on over there and be a part of the family, man. Don't be out there lonely. But it's time to get to the last shot. My man Alex did a hell of a job. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause for coming on the show, hooking us up with some of his time, and thank him for his service over there at the fire department up there in Maine. I should have asked what fire department. But that was fire. Now we got to hit you with the last shot, man. We talked about if at the beginning and what if I almost hit the power move of the show. Power moves is over, by the way, if you haven't heard that yet. We did our last show last week, but the last shot of the show, this show today, is for you to not live in the what ifs or the maybes. What ifs and maybes lead to regrets, and regrets get us nowhere. That is the rear view mirror when we living in regret. We want to look out of the doggone windshield because we got vision for our life. And when you have vision for your life, you realize that you can't say, what if this vision in my life doesn't happen? And then I got to live with the regret of seeing those opportunities in my rearview mirror get further and further away. No, we're going to flip that camera around, look out of the windshield, and see the opportunities and say, what if it works when I pull over at that rest stop to hit that opportunity, or I pull over at that gas station to hit that opportunity, all on the way to our destination, which is the promised land that you see in the vision for your life that God gave to you to go out there and accomplish. Just like the word of the week, my man Marcus Tate said. All right. So look out of the windshield and don't worry about what if it don't happen. Worry about what if it does. And we don't worry about that because God don't give us worry. He gives us opportunity. And doors of opportunity open to those who will knock. So shoot your shot and don't worry about if it don't go in. Just have faith and believe that God got you. And when you let that shot go, he got good things for you. And it is going to go in. Let's go. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And remember, the Creator created you to be creative. So get out there and create whatever you want in your life because you deserve it. I'm out. Peace.